Hey Stitchers, your girl Chris here. Welcome back to my channel on social, where it's totally cool to be obsessed with sewing. So you guys, I am so excited to announce that I am the next stop on the Sew Frugal 2024 blogger tour, and I'm sharing today with another sewist who goes by the handle Mountain Accents. So I'll go ahead and encourage you to head on over and check out her video on her Sew Frugal plans and ideas for the 2024 Sew Frugal Challenge. Now, there were bloggers for the entire month of March. I'll go ahead and pop in the vlogger tour picture right here so that you guys can see all the amazing sewists that came before and those amazing sewists who are still left to come up. I can't remember all the names off the top of my head. I can't even remember the vlogger names for tomorrow or yesterday, but I'll be sure to go ahead and highlight them so that you can head on over and check out some other amazing content. Now about Sew Frugal, in case you don't know, the Sew Frugal Challenge is now in its 4th year. I think that's correct. I think it's the 4th year. It was started by Ruan of the Yorkshire Sew Girl and Sam of Frugalisma, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'll go ahead and drop both of their handles in on the screen and down below in the description box. Now, the purpose of the challenge is to encourage sewists to use free patterns that are accessible to any and everybody. That means that free patterns in magazines don't count because not everybody has access to said magazines. So, which means these patterns have to be found online so that everybody can get their hands on it. It also requires you to use fabrics from your stash. So you're not allowed at all to go out and buy yourself any new fabric for this challenge. So I think it's a really great initiative and it pushes us to draw on our creative juices. It's not always necessary to go out and buy new things in order to create. Now, sewing can be a very expensive hobby, you guys. For some reason, some people think, sewing means it's cheaper for your wardrobe. But having been a sewist for the last 6 years, I can tell you in most cases that is absolutely far from the truth. And it is challenges like these that help us to sort of reflect on our buying and spending habits and just sort of encourage us to just focus on free and making use of the things that we already have. Now, for my specific spin on this challenge, you have heard, I am sure, tons and tons and tons of videos on the Sew Frugal Challenge detailing all the free patterns that are readily available. And it means that coming up so late in the game, I stand a chance of repeating some of the patterns that you guys have already seen. And so I've gone ahead and put my own little twist on the Sew Frugal Challenge, and I'm sharing with you today 5 free sewing patterns that are hackable. Now, I am a pattern hacker, you guys, at heart. At my core, I really enjoy pattern hacking. So much so that I went ahead and hosted a pattern hackathon last year on Instagram, which featured, I think it was 16 of us who took part in that challenge, and we had hacked patterns and shared them with the sewing community. And so for this Sew Frugal Challenge, I thought, I could probably incorporate some of that excitement over hacking into this video and share with you 5 free patterns that are easily hackable. So that is what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. So you guys, I will confess to you that my memory is not the best, and so I have drawn for my handy dandy notebook, in this case my iPad, because I have made some notes on the patterns that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Now, these patterns are summer appropriate, mainly because where I live, you guys, it is hot. It is hot, and it's hot mostly all year round. So in my mind, the patterns that I'm about to share with you will be ideal for those of you heading into the spring and summer months. But I do still think that those of you who are heading into autumn and winter can still benefit from these patterns because, as I said, we're going to hack them anyway. And hacks could mean lengthening, as well as shortening, and so I'm pretty sure that you can find something that will work for you as well. So if you're in a different part of the world where it's getting cold, don't run away from this video. Some of these ideas I think will be very useful for you as well. So the first top I wanted to talk to you about is the Peppermint Magazine Paddington top. Now, this one seems to be a popular top pattern, and I think I have heard it referred to a couple times during this vlogging tour. Now, Peppermint Magazine does offer a lot of patterns, and technically they are free because there's a free option, but there's also an option for you to give a contribution, a financial contribution for the patterns, which means you have a choice. You can decide to pay nothing and it's free, or you might decide to pay a couple of bucks in exchange for your pattern. So I went ahead and drew for the Peppermint Magazine Paddington top, just because I thought it was a pretty cute top, and it has buttons down the back and a raglan sleeve. So one of the hacks that I came up with was probably moving the buttons from the back of the bodice to the front of the bodice, which is a pretty easy hack. It just means that instead of cutting your front piece on the fold, you then have to create either a fold on placket, which is just extending your center front piece and then folding it over to create your placket, or you can go ahead and make a separate placket piece for your buttons and put it on the front, and then you will close off your back bodice by cutting your back piece on fold. So in my mind, that was a pretty easy hack, and I think it's something that will really put a nice little twist on the Paddington top. Now, you can also consider changing this top into a dress pattern. It's very common for pattern hacks to include switching from tops into dresses, mainly by shortening the bodice of your Paddington top and then going ahead and adding on some kind of skirt, whether it's a gathered skirt or circle skirt, and you can fully transform your Paddington top into a Paddington dress. Now, the other thing that came to mind was to let fabric shine in this pattern and make this Paddington top out of denim fabric. Now, per se, it's probably not a hack because you will be sewing up the pattern as is, but then you'll be using denim fabric and just top stitching the hell out of your fabric. I think that top stitching detail will really add something really cool to a top like this, which is otherwise a pretty simple silhouette. The last idea I had for the peppermint top was to go ahead and add a strip at the bottom of your top and create a color block or print block look. I think that that strip will just transform your top again from something that's very basic into something that's very fun and cool. I can already see matching like a vibrant pink color with a strip of orange, and for me, I would definitely use the pink for the main portion of my top and probably do the strip in orange, just because orange is not one of my colors. I did have my colors done. I am a twilight winter, and so I am supposed to stay away from oranges and so on, which are not very flattering on me. But if I wanted to incorporate it into my look, which I still can if I want to, then I can add a strip of bright orange right around the bottom of my top and still end up with a top that's very flattering on me because of the pink up top. Now, if you don't know what your colors are and you want to get your colors done, then consider using your color guru and using my code on social, which will save you 10% off any color package. You guys, having my colors done was one of the best sewing investments I've ever made because it has changed the way I shop for fabric. And if you have been doing this for any time, you already know that fabric and fabric love is a completely different hobby to sewing. So that's just a quick plug in case you wanted to get your colors done. Now, those were the ideas I had surrounding my Peppermint Magazine Paddington top, and I think any of these ideas could really result in a great top for this challenge. Now, the other pattern that I wanted to talk to you guys about is the Tessuti Fabrics multi-elastic waist skirt. I'll go ahead and pop a picture in so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now, Tessuti Fabrics is an Australian company which I have recently discovered, and by recently I mean sometime in 2023. Now, I'm participating in Make 9 2024, and I'm featuring all indie patterns for my Make 9 2024. And so I went ahead and used one of their patterns, the Hillary top, to go ahead and complete one of the boxes for Make 9 2024. So if you have no idea what those things are, I'll go ahead and pop the link in both to Make 9 2024 so you can have an idea what it is, and to my Tessuti Fabrics sew along. I do have a sew along on the Hillary top, and I do have also a discount code that is not an affiliate link, just something to encourage you to give Tessuti Fabrics a go. So go ahead and drop the links in as well. Anyways, back to their free pattern. They do offer this free pattern on their website. Again, it's the multi-elastic waist skirt. And I thought that this would make for a cool skirt to go ahead and hack for summer. Now, the skirt in its original format is a midi-length skirt, but for my hack, it will be no surprise that I wanted to shorten this skirt pattern. I wanted to shorten it to the knee or above the knee, and I think it will make for a fantastic mini skirt. Now, this skirt is an easy to sew skirt, I think, because it has elastic at the waistline, which means no other closures, no zips, no buttons, no buttonholes, no hooks and eyes, none of those things, just some elastic in your waistline and you can slip on your skirt. So if you are a beginner sewist, then I would highly recommend giving this multi-elastic waist skirt a go, just because it seems to be a simple make. Now, I had seen a skirt over on Pinterest, you guys, a while ago. I added it to my Pinterest board a while ago. And this pattern in particular brought that skirt to mind. It was a mini skirt and it had an exposed ruffled tier and a drawstring at the waistline. And I think that this skirt pattern lends itself well to recreating that skirt look. Now, if you wanted to hack this pattern, you can do the exposed skirt tier, which is what I just spoke of, or you can do one of those integrated skirt tiers and just add as many tiers as you want. As a matter of fact, you can add 1 tier, 2 tiers, 3 tiers, mess with the proportion of those tiers, all using the same base pattern, and then you can end up with many different variations of this pattern to add to your wardrobe. Another idea I had was to go ahead and add side panels to your skirt, and then you can do things like incorporate bias binding or flat piping or any of those details into your skirt. Again, those things make for cool and easy hacks and transform your patterns into something new. Now, the third pattern I wanted to share with you is actually a swimsuit pattern. And you guys, I have only ever made one swimsuit and I have never attempted it again. But who knows, maybe this year is the year that I will attempt another swimsuit. And I came up with the Marlowe swimsuit from Mood Fabrics. Now, if you didn't know, Mood Fabrics has tons and tons and tons of free patterns, jackets, skirts, tops, dresses, swimwear, outerwear. They have lots of free patterns. It has a huge pattern resource that you can draw from. Now, I have never actually made a Mood Fabrics free pattern, and so I can't speak to how well they are actually drafted, but I do know that they have lots to choose from. So I went ahead and highlighted the Marlowe swimsuit, which is a one-piece swimsuit, because your girl has 2 kids and my body is just not conducive in my mind to a 2-piece anymore. I just don't think I would feel very comfortable, at least not at the moment, in a 2-piece. And so I drew for a 1-piece swimsuit. Now, if I were to have this swimsuit, I would probably go ahead and lower the front into like a low V-neck and perhaps add some power mesh behind that V-neck just for a little modesty at the boob area. I think that would make for a cool and simple hack. The other idea I had was to go and incorporate some ruffles. I think it's ruffle season, you guys. Ruffles also seem to be appearing all over the place. And so I think adding ruffles at your neckline will make for a cool and interesting hack. Now, the third idea I had was to actually transform this swimsuit into a bikini. Now, I wouldn't do this hack, but you are free to do this hack. Split it apart, and then you will have a 2-piece, a top and a panty sort of bottoms, and then you can hack them by adding like frills at the top of your panty waistline, or you can add frills at your bikini, or you can add a contrasting band at your bikini, or at your panty line, or at your top line. Those simple things that will turn this Marlowe swimsuit into something different. Now, the fourth, I think I'm on number 4. The fourth pattern I wanted to share with you is the Viki Sew's Nikki sweatshirt. Now, bear with me, you guys, bear with me. I did say that these patterns are mostly aimed at the warmer months, and I think something cool can be done with a Viki Sew's Nikki sweatshirt. Now, the first idea is to color block it. Color blocking is everywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. And so if you have different types of sweatshirt material, then I think it will lend well to color blocking a sweatshirt. The second idea I had, and one which is probably more appropriate for spring and summer, is to shorten the sweatshirt into a cropped sweatshirt. I had seen this idea, I think it was on Pinterest as well, and it blew my mind. I was like, wait, a cropped sweatshirt? I am completely here for it. And so I think that the Viki Sew's Nikki sweatshirt would lend well to like this cropped sweatshirt idea that you can wear layered over other items if you're not comfortable in showing your stomach, or if you are absolutely fine and flaunting your skin, then girl, go ahead and make yourself a cropped sweatshirt using the Viki Sew's Nikki sweatshirt pattern. Now, the last one I wanted to share with you is another Peppermint Magazine pattern. So I started with Peppermint Magazine and I'm ending with it, and it's the Peppermint Magazine wool pencil skirt pattern. Now, guess what my idea, you guys? Guess what my idea is? We are going to turn this skirt into a wrap skirt. Duh! It is wrap dress season, you guys. Since that re-release of that Diane von Furstenberg wrap dress pattern, I feel like wraps are everywhere. Like everywhere I turn, wrap dresses have been in my face. And so I thought it would be a great idea to go ahead and not make a wrap dress, but a wrap skirt featuring this pencil skirt pattern. Now, I think doing a wrap skirt in this pattern would be pretty easy. It would require you to extend your skirt at the fold line out, maybe by a third of the total width of your center front skirt piece, and then you would do the same thing on the opposite side so that you can have enough to cross over. And then it would just be a matter of doing like hooks and eyes or some sort of fastening to keep your wrap skirt in place. Then you can probably add a belt to it and do a little nice fancy bow on it. And then you will be definitely on trend with the wrap fever that has been going around. So the second idea I had for my skirt was to go ahead and make some panels and insert some lace. Now, I recently did some lace inserts on my McCall's 7974. I think that's the right number. I'll go ahead and pop a picture in so that you can see it. And I was really, really smitten with how that had turned out. And so I think that would be another cool and easy hack to incorporate into this pencil skirt, just to go ahead and add a lace inset into your skirt, which will sort of up the flavor of your wool skirt. Obviously, you don't have to make this pattern in wool. You can make this pattern in different fabric substrates, twills, maybe even like a midweight linen and so on, so that you can have a different effect. If you use something more structured, then obviously you would have a more structured skirt. But if you use something a little bit more flowy, that will lend well to perhaps the wrap over idea that I shared with you first, then I think that this skirt can really, really be transformed. Now, the last idea I had in terms of this skirt is to go ahead and add a split in your skirt. If you have ever seen the chalk and notch Evelyn skirt, this is what I sort of have in mind, to create that sort of split on the leg and then include grommets on those splits so that you can do a lace up detail. I just think that would be so snazzy, you guys, and would just bring this skirt from a level 1 up to a level 5 in the bombshell category. So those are the ideas I have for the peppermint skirt. And in fact, those are the ideas I have for these 5 free patterns. Now, as part of the Sew Frugal challenge, I'm finished with my notes, so I think I can rest it down. As part of the Sew Frugal challenge, you're required to sew up the make during the month of March and to reveal it on the 31st of March. So just a couple more days left before we will have to reveal our makes for the Sew Frugal challenge. Now, as part of the vlogging team, you're not absolutely required to sew up something for the reveal date on the 31st, but your girl obviously is going to sew up something for the challenge. I'm going to go ahead and record some footage on the pattern that I decided to use, but I will give you the heads up that it's going to be one of those 5 patterns that I just shared with you. So I'm going to choose one of those patterns and I'm going to hack it into something new. So if you're curious to see what your girl is going to come up with for the Sew Frugal challenge, be sure to come on back to my channel, because I will be sharing with you a video featuring my specific plans for the challenge, the pattern that I chose and what I want to do with it. And I'll probably go ahead and do a second video sharing with you the Behind the Sew series, which really features, you know, all the things that happen from start to finish to produce your garment. So a little bit of the construction process, any mistakes I make, any hacks I make, any changes I make, sizing and all that information will be included in that video. So if these are things that sound like they are interesting to you, then be sure to stick around here on my channel. It will help you if you go ahead and hit that subscribe icon and turn your notification bell on so you do not miss those upcoming videos. Now, as I said, today is the 27th of March, so that means I only have a couple of days to get my shit together, which means that I must have started, I think by now, planning what I want to do for this challenge so that I can reveal it on reveal day, which, as I said, is the 31st of March. So that is all I wanted to share with you about the Sew Frugal challenge. If you had been considered participating but you had not yet quite made up your mind, then what are you waiting for? There's so much inspiration out there. There has been so much inspiration here on YouTube for the entire month of March. So go ahead, get to watching these videos and figure out what you can do for the Sew Frugal 2024 challenge. I just want to end my video by saying thank you to Ruan and to Sam for having me. This is my first time participating in a vlogging tour, and it really does warm my heart that a small island girl like myself can be received into the sewing community with sewers from all over the world and to participate in challenges such as this, the Sew Frugal 2024 challenge. So with any luck, you guys, I'll be back next year as well to participate in Sew Frugal 2025. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comment box down below if you will consider making any of the patterns that I spoke to you about in this video. And if you are, what are the hack ideas that you might come up with to transform these patterns from their basic states into something amazing and creatively and uniquely yours? So that is all I wanted to share with you guys today, and I'll be back sometime soon to share with you my plan for my Sew Frugal 2024 project. So until then, stay calm, stay cool, stay safe, and please keep on sewing. Peace.